Welcome to the Seth Thibodeaux Show with Nicholls head baseball coach Seth Thibodeaux. Presented by State Farm Insurance. Contact your local State Farm agent today and get to a better state with State Farm Insurance. Welcome to the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by State Farm Insurance. I'm your host, Mike Wagenheim, joined here by the head coach of the Colonel baseball team, Seth Thibodeaux. Your club right now, 3-3 in Southland action, undefeated still in midweek play. What are your thoughts on the last week here?
You know, we ran into a tough team this weekend in Sam Houston and had two cracks at winning the series. Didn't quite get it done. Faced some really good arms. I feel like it's going to help us down the stretch, but I'm excited that we continue to play well in the midweek.
We're going to take a look at all the highlights from the past week. Colonels went into the Southland Series with Sam Houston in search of their third consecutive League Series win. Nicholls had won 8 of their last 10 overall coming in. Sam Houston, under new management now, former Rice assistant David Pierce took over for Mark Johnson as head coach in the offseason. Seth Webster getting the Friday night nod for Nicholls at Didier Field. The preseason Pitcher of the Year honoree had not been his dominating self. That would change, though. Scoreless in the top of the third. Corey Toops at the plate for the Bearcats, rendered helpless on this filthy slider. Webster retired 11 of 12 during the stretch. Nicholls facing Sam Houston lefty Cody Dixon. He had another solid outing, but the Colonels would get to him for a run in the third. After a failed pickoff, Philip Lyons brings home Matt Richard. The 4-3 groundout puts the Colonels in front 1-0. Lyons with his team-leading 17th run batted in. Top of the fifth, Jake Arrington doubles with 1 out, but Webster able to escape. He induces John Hale into the bounce out to third to retire the side. The Colonels maintain the 1-run advantage. However, an error to start the sixth opens the door for Sam Houston. Runners at the corners with 1 out, and Luke Pluchek registers a sacrifice fly. Corey Toops crosses, and this ball game is tied up at 1. Now, Webster would dig in his heels. He put down the next 2 Cats by way of the K. So we go bottom 7. Austin Flores leads off against Dixon with a double, moves to third on an Evan Weibel bunt, and scores on Richard's sac fly here. It's 2-1 Nicholls. Richard drove in 4 runs on the weekend and raised his batting average 34 points. Sam Houston goes to small ball in the 8th. 2 bunts for singles, 1 sacrifice, and here's again Luke Pluchek with a sac fly. That brought home Hale and tied the game at 2, and Sam Houston wasn't done. Anthony Azar entered the series as a Bearcats leading hitter. He comes through here with the RBI triple just out of the reach of Mike Barba. Toops would score. That's his second triple of the year for Azar, and the Colonels are now down 3-2. Now Dixon still going strong. He got the first 2 batters out in the 8th. But Mike LaGrange able to keep the inning alive with his third base hit of the night. After Dixon hit Blake Bajaran, he was lifted in favor of senior Michael Oros. This is after the Bajaran single here. Oros would walk Flores to load the bases. It looked like he would put out the fire. Pinch hitter Adam Seal coming to the plate here. The routine grounder to third. Looks like the inning would end, but Kevin Miller makes the low throw. It skips behind O'Hearn. LaGrange and Bajaran score. Nicholls reclaims a lead. It's 4-3. Sam Houston not done shooting themselves in the foot. The soft line drive off the bat of Richard, muffed at second by Ryan Farney. That allows Flores and pinch runners David Zorn to come home. It's 6-3 Colonels. Then Nicholls making their own break. Richard steals second. Mike Barba at the plate. The diving stop by Miller. Watch Richard there running hard. Miller too high with the throw to first, and nobody notices Richard. He never stopped running. He scores, and it's 7-3 Nicholls. Webster tossed 7 complete games last year. He goes the distance for the first time in 2012. Runners at the corners, and Toops flies out to end the ball game. Nicholls wins it 7-3. Webster allowed 2 earned runs on 6 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts. Mike Barba goes 3 for 5 with an RBI in the contest. This was the Seth Webster coach that we saw each and every time out in 2011.
That's right. He threw really well. I was really excited to see it. You know, we talked a little bit last week about making a few adjustments to some things he was doing, and he did that and had, you know, just really prepared himself well for the weekend. But like you said, just watching him throw Friday night brought back some memories of his dominant self from last season.
And the Colonels, it seemed like every game you had to fight the breaks that were going the other team's way.
Correct.
This time you took advantage of the opposition's
mistakes. We took advantage of their mistakes, you know, and we did that with our speed too as well, putting a little pressure on them, and it was exciting to see, you know, Matt Richard and Mike Barba put a little pressure with their speed, and then Mike LaGrange having a big night for us offensively.
The Colonels are running all over the place. bases here. They entered that weekend third in the nation in stolen bases. Game 2 of the set Saturday night. Justin Jackson, a fourth-year Cat, gets the assignment. Probably has the best stuff of anyone on that staff. Now Nicholls again coming in among the national leaders in stolen bases. Sam Houston able to neutralize it for the most part on Saturday. Mike Barber reached on a leadoff walk, but he's put out there. Patrick Shreve coming off his best outing of the year, a 7-inning, 1-run effort at Southeastern Louisiana, and he picks up right where he left off. Shreve was perfect the first time through the order. He paints the outer corner here and gets Miller looking at strike number 3. The Colonels would jump out in front after a Mike LaGrange double puts 2 men in scoring position. The Austin Flores ground out chases in Bo Falk. Flores also notched a pair of hits in the contest. The very next batter is Evan Weibel. He strokes it through the left side. LaGrange would score one of 3 hits for Weibel. He's getting his batting average up. Nicholls up 2-0 after 2. Top of the 4th. Coming up here, and the Bearcats begin to get to Shreve. Colt Atwood on second, 1 out, and Anthony Azar delivers the base hit. Atwood coming around third here. Falk with the relay. Close play at the plate, and Atwood gone. Great job by Weibel to seal off the dish. Barber with his 4th outfield assist of the year. But the next 2 batters reach, and then Jake Arrington ties the ball game here on the bad hop single to shortstop. Azar and O'Hearn score. We're square at 2. That was one of 3 hits in the ball game for Arrington. John Hale would follow with a base hit to left. Kevin Miller comes in from second base, and Sam Houston in front by a score of 3-2. That was Hale's only RBI of the weekend. Top of the 5th coming up. First and second, 1 out, and Anthony Azar, he would strike again. Base knock, Corey Toops digging around third here. He would score. Azar with his club high tying 12th RBI of the year, and Nicholls is now down 4-2. Ryan O'Hearn would chase Shreve from the ball game here. A sharp ground ball to first off the knee of Bo Falk. That drives in Luke Pluchek. Shreve goes 4 1/3. He allows 5 runs on 8 hits. Corey DeLang came on and got a double play ball to retire the side. Nicholls would load the bases with 2 outs in the 6th, but nothing comes of it. So we go top 7. The Colonels' defense keeping them in this one. Azar at the plate. Nice job by Phillip Lyons. From his knees gets him. Still 5-2 Bearcats. Sam Houston pads the lead in the 8th. 2 away. Little Texas leaguer here off the bat of Jesse Plumlee. Arrington scores from third. The only run there allowed by DeLang in 3 2/3 innings of relief. Nicholls looking to rally. They're down by 4. They load the bases on 3 consecutive hits, and the Bearcats go to their pen. Michael Burchett, the new pitcher. First batter he faces is Richard. Base hit to shallow center. Bergeron and Flores are in. The deficit is down to 2 runs. A Barber walk would reload the bases, but Lyons popped out to end the rally. Then the Cats unfortunately take the momentum back. Jordan McCoy working to O'Hearn. The single up the middle brings home Atwood. 7-4 Sam Houston. O'Hearn with 3 hits and 2 RBIs on the day. Nicholls put 2 runners on in the 9th, but Jordan Bunch only thrown 1 inning all year, but he gets the assignment here. Gets Bergeron and Flores on back-to-back flyouts. The Colonels out-hit the Bearcats 15-14, but Nicholls stranded 12 men on base, fall by a final of 7-4. You mentioned, Coach, you had your chances in this one, just couldn't get that hit when you needed it late.
That was the difference in the game. We out-hit them, and sometimes that doesn't really matter because our hits were scattered all day long. With 15 hits and 4 runs, we have to do a better job of getting that hit at the right time. We had our opportunities. We gave them a couple big innings in the middle there. We came back. We had our opportunities to drive in runs there, and really just didn't get it done. But I credit their pitching staff for battling through it. We had some good swings on some balls. We hit them right at people, but we had our chances, and I'm excited to see that. And now we need to learn how to get it done at the right time.
We'll take a look at Sunday's action here. Down to the rubber game. Mike Weiscarver rounding out the rotation. He's been the best starter for Nicholls this year, but doesn't have a win to show for it. Let's take a look at the footage from Sunday's finale here against Sam Houston. Here's Weiscarver on the bump, and again, Mike has been outstanding all season long so far. Sam Houston would strike early against him. Atwood leads off with a double, and then Azar with a 1-out single just out of the reach of Phillip Lyons. Atwood comes around 1-0 Bearcats. Azar with a 3-hit day. Lefty Caleb Smith on the hill for Sam Houston. He spotted the early lead. He would not need a whole lot of support in this one, the way he pitched. Nicholls puts 2 runners on in the first, but Smith able to get Bo Falk to ground into the double play. Miller with a diving stop at third, and Sam Houston goes around the horn. Top of the 3rd inning here. 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. O'Hearn at the plate. and the pitch gets behind Evan Weibel. Toops racing home. Bang, bang play at the plate. Looked like the Colonels may have had him. Home plate umpire Gabe Hernandez says otherwise. 2-0 Sam Houston. Take a look at it again here. We had to watch this one about 5 or 6 times in slow motion. This was oh so close, but in the end, it really made all the difference in the game. Smith was dealing, credit him. Bottom 4 working to Falk here. He blows the fastball by him. This was part of a stretch where Smith put down 13 of 14 Colonels. Mike LaGrange would suffer the same fate here. It's a 1-2-3 4th inning for Smith. So we go along to the top of the 6th inning. Sam Houston looking to break it open. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Jake Arrington at the dish. Bounces on to first. Falk goes up and gets it, looks Azar back to 3rd, and then lays out to get Arrington. That's an outstanding effort, and it kept the game within reach for the Colonels. Home half of the 6th, David Zorn with a leadoff walk, moved to 3rd on an error. Richard batting here. He drives in Zorn with a ground out. That brings the Colonels their first run of the ball game, a productive weekend for Richard at the plate. Wisecarver goes 7 in the 3rd. In comes Brad DeLotte, and he's the beneficiary here of some solid defense. How about Blake Bergeron? The diving stop, gets up and throws out Miller to end the inning. Top of the 9th, Cats have them loaded. Tate Baker facing DeLotte, and the Colonels escape. Despite being out-hit 10-1 at that point, Nicholls still with a shot in their final at-bat. But with a runner on first and 2 outs, Smith, still in the ball game, gets Falk to pop up to end it. Caleb Smith delivers his first complete game, the first one for any Sam Houston pitcher this year, a 1-hit gem. The only knock for Nicholls was a 1-out single by Richard in the first. Smith walked 3, struck out 5, and again, Mike Wisecarver deserved a better fate. 7 in the 3rd innings, 2 runs, 10 hits, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. Just can't get that win.
He can't get the win, and it was an unbelievably pitched baseball game, just as it was all weekend, especially on Friday. I don't think the score dictated what it was like on Friday, but what a great baseball game. Well pitched, defended. You know, we've played 27 straight innings without making an error. We've played some phenomenal defense. Tip your hat to Sam Houston as well. They're the third baseman, made plays all day on Sunday when we squared up some balls that way. So, but I'd like to see Mike Wisecarver gets to have some success in the win column because he's absolutely been lights out for us all year long. So, but you know, baseball is a fortune game. It's going to swing back in his way towards the end of the season.
You don't expect that kind of outing on getaway day in the Southland, but that was a premier pitching matchup.
Smith threw well. He was, you know, he's up to 94 on Sunday. He was actually 92, 93 in the 9th inning. And so, but we battled. We only struck out 4 or 5 times, as we talked about earlier. We had our opportunities. We didn't get the hits. They had, you know, they scattered 10 hits just as we did the day before. We played phenomenal defense. You know, we had our opportunities. We have to maximize those chances, and we'll have a crack at them again. I told our guys after the game, next time we play and we're in a situation like that, we've got to learn how to win that game.
Colonels played host to UNO on Tuesday, 1 week after a wild 11-inning Nicholls victory in New Orleans. Corey DeLang gets his starting assignment for the Colonels. He gave the club 3 scoreless innings, fanning Brandon Simon here to end the first. DeLang, though, had to come out after a 33-minute rain delay in the 3rd. Nicholls leading 2-1 in the 4th. Mike Barba delivers an RBI single. Blake Bergeron scores. Matt Richard would follow with a run-scoring hit of his own, and the Colonels go up 4-1. It was 6-1 in the 6th until reliever Mike Sook walked in a run. Enter Merrick Ardwan. He tries to get the Colonels out of a bases-loaded 1-out jam, but UNO Stephen Farrell laces one just out of the reach of Austin Flores. A pair of runs score, and the Nicholls lead here cut to 2. But the bullpen was able to hang on the rest of the way. Ardwan getting Zach Poto to pop out here. Late in the ball game, he went an inning and 2/3 for the win. Donnie White and Jordan McCoy combined for the final 2 innings, and Nicholls ends up a 6-4 winner. The Colonels are still undefeated in midweek action this year. Coming up a bit later, we'll take a look around Nicholls Athletics on the Colonel Connection. On deck, Philip Boudreau introduces us to the 2012 team captains who have been with Coach Tibb since his arrival on campus. This is the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by State Farm Insurance.
There goes Dwayne's car. There goes Dwayne's house. And there goes Dwayne.
Man, that thing does not like Dwayne.
State Farm's got you covered.
In Thibodeaux, call Mike Bednards. And in Homa, call Mark Anderpont.
Get to a better state.
Between 2008 and 2009, Seth Webster, Bo Falk, Blake Bergeron, Brad DeLotte, and Seth Thibodeaux all joined the Colonel baseball squad, eager to return the program to prominence. The next few years would be a journey, bonding over a common goal.
Now, team captains and senior leaders Webster, Falk, Bergeron, and DeLotte spent the early years of their careers earning their pinstripes with either red shirts or limited playing time. Thibodeaux started his tenure at Nicholls as an assistant coach, focusing on hitting. Right off the bat, the young Colonels were cognizant of Thibodeaux's ambition.
First time I met him, I say my first impression of him, you could tell how competitive he was, how much he wanted to win. You could tell how the kind of attitude he had. He had a winning attitude. Now, I mean, that came off the very first time I met him. You could tell that it was his goal to turn this place around, and it was exciting to see when I met him for the first time.
He's just a guy that just came in and got down to work, and I could tell that he was really enthusiastic about turning the program around, and that's exactly the same attitude that I had coming in, and I'm hoping that this year we can succeed in our goals and win a conference championship.
Since joining the team, Colonel Baseball has been on the rise. Nicholls has increased its win total every season beginning from 2008. The vision of a dominant program was coming to fruition, but the ball club took a hit before the 2011 campaign when head coach Chip Durham resigned. However, the players detected that Thibodeaux's promotion to the top job meant the program would continue to be steered in the right direction.
I was pretty shocked when I found out that Coach Durham had resigned, and I thought that Coach Tibb was the right guy for the job. I thought that he had worked hard and he had started turning the program around in the right direction.
I know it's something that he fully deserves, and I know it's something that he's been wanting for a while. And I don't want to say that I expected it, but I mean, I kind of deemed it inevitable. And I mean, I was pretty excited when he got it because it's nice to keep things like in-house and not have to go and get someone new.
We wanted to keep on the same course that we were going on. There was no reason to go out into a different area and find somebody else because of the type of progress that we were making. There would be no point in it. So I wasn't really surprised, and I mean I'd say it was definitely a good fit, and I feel like he's taken what Coach Durham started and he's just built upon it.
Staying the course allowed the baseball team to continue improving. Falk's experience with Colonel Baseball gave him the insight on what it takes to instill a winning tradition.
Just showing up every day ready to work, whether it be in the classroom or in the weight room or on the field. Really stressing the fundamentals of the game, and also just having accountability. Everybody trusts everybody, and that's really big in baseball, to where once you build that trust, not only with your coaches but with your teammates, that's when the lineup's really going to start clicking, is when everybody trusts each other.
Upon realizing that the exceptional leadership shown by his longtime students played an integral part in the Colonel's success, Thibodeaux selected them as 2012 team captains. DeLotte and Bergeron find comfort in the chemistry built between them and Thibodeaux and appreciate the life lessons they've learned.
I mean, I was young when I got here, and was still trying to test the waters and feel it out, and just kind of make sure I didn't push his buttons or make him angry or anything. And now it's just we have a mutual respect for each other. Like he knows what I'm thinking, and he knows what I'm gonna do before I do it. Like I know what he's gonna do before he does this, just because we've been around each other for so long.
Me and Coach Tibb, I mean, he's been my coach for 5 years now. I think, I look up to him as a figure that has guided me in a good direction being here at Nicholls. I just try to take whatever he's coaching, take it to life situations. Like sit in the front row of the class, always dress nice, carry yourself like a mature adult and getting me ready for the real world.
After learning all about the Colonel way from Thibodeaux over the last several years, it's up to Webster and company to take the reins and provide guidance and authority to the team's underclassmen.
But by now, me and the other fifth-year guys and Brad DeLatte's a four-year guy. Like I said, we understand what he expects out of us. We're just trying to be another coach out there, because we know what he expects from us, and we want the younger guys to realize what that is too, and what he wants from us every single day. We can't take a day off. You got to come out here and get better every single day. They tell us all the time, you come out here and you either do one or two things. You either get better or you get worse. And our goal as a team and as individuals is to come out here and get better every single day. So with that, my leadership goal is to make sure that everybody's doing that.
Thibodeaux and his 4 captains are laying the foundation for the success of future teams as Nicholls baseball gets closer and closer to replicating the accomplishments of the Colonel championship squads of yesteryear. For the Seth Thibodeaux Show, I'm Philip Boudreau.
Thank you so much, Philip. Coming up here on the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by State Farm Insurance, we'll take you around Nicholls Athletics on the Colonel Connection, and we'll take a look at the Colonels contributing in the community as well. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
There goes Dwayne's car. There goes Dwayne's house. And there goes Dwayne.
Man, that thing does not like Dwayne.
State Farm's got you covered.
In Thibodeaux, call Jude Guidry. And in Homa, call Darryl Brew.
Get to a better state.
The Nicholls track team achieved the first of many goals for the outdoor season. The women's tennis team bettered their rivals, while the softball team continues to test themselves in this week's Colonel Connection. The Colonels track team competed in the Louisiana Classics in Lafayette on Saturday, marking their first outdoor meet of the season. Freshman Tessney Carruthers picked up the individual gold medal in the 1,500-meter run. Team members Chriselle Roll and Sarah Presley both took 5th in the 400-meter hurdles and the 5,000-meter run, respectively. The Colonels head back into action this weekend at the LSU Relays. The women's tennis team picked up their first conference win, defeating Southeastern Louisiana 4-3 at the Southeastern Tennis Complex last Thursday. Sophomore Andrea Pone registered victories in singles and doubles to lead the way. But Nicholls ended up falling short by a 5-2 margin against Louisiana Tech at the Colonel Tennis Complex on Sunday. Head coach Meenakshi Sundaram relies on his team to stand out from other top competitors.
I've got 3 girls that I'm totally dependent on this year that I'm trying to win 4 points with. Parija, Marie, and Yana are getting better. Match to match, they're getting better. A couple of them, I just haven't lost. They haven't lost a match. One of the girls hasn't lost a match in the conference yet. And I don't think she will for the rest of the year. That's something special. And the other ones maybe lost 1 or 2, but she's getting better and better. So I think at the end of the season, I mean, if I have to look back and reflect on the season, there'll be about 2 or 3 bright spots on the team that I can take and move on to next year. And part of those reasons will be the 3 girls that I'm talking about.
The softball team entered conference play last weekend, hosting Sam Houston State. The Colonels dropped both games, falling 6-4 and 6-3. Ashton Bennett went 4 for 6 with 2 RBIs while allowing just 1 earned run in the circle in Saturday's finale. Head coach Angel Santiago sees the team's struggles as an opportunity for growth.
This team is learning right now more than ever is that once something bad happens, you got to just minimize the damage, and that's going to take a thought process that you know something messed up. Somebody's got to just step up in those situations and take over, and it really takes everybody on the team to have that approach. And we've been talking about it a lot, of making sure that we have those type of scenarios in our head, that once we make a mistake, you got to flush it and then get right back to business.
Nicholls hosted the 4th annual Swamp Stomp Festival that spotlights the history, culture, and economical development of the region. The athletic department was one of many groups who joined the fun, creating an obstacle course for the kids to show off their athletic skills. For the Seth Thibodeaux Show, I'm Ashley Bull with your Colonel Connection.
Thank you very much, Ashley. We see the football team and other student athletes participating in the Swamp Stomp. You guys held your own community service event, one of many that you held this past Monday at Peltier Park here in Thibodeaux. A great clinic for the Thibodeaux Dixie youth. This was just a terrific event.
It is, and it was a chance for our guys to be able to, showcase themselves and work with some younger ones. And they remember when they were in that situation as well, and it makes a difference in these young men's lives. We were honored to be able to do this.
About 400
plus young players out there for Thibodeaux Dixie Youth. Very exciting to be out there with them.
Great to see our student athletes and coaches running the clinic, and I know you had a talk with the parents as well about some important life lessons for the kids that they need to learn along the way. This is just one of many community service events. I know this is so big for your program to get out in the community, make sure you guys are giving back, make sure you're making that connection.
Absolutely. It's important for our players to be able to understand that they've got to learn to give back and not always have their hand out, and it's important for us to take care of the community that does so much for us as well. And we do everything we can constantly throughout the season. It gets a little tough during the season, but in the fall we're full up, and we do anything from town cleanup to helping out with elementary schools and things like that, and even helping out with breast cancer awareness. So whatever we can do to give back to this area, it's important for us, and it's an obligation.
Again, just some great footage from that clinic. You got McNeese this weekend. You're at Southern Tuesday, back home next weekend against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. What's the game plan this weekend? What are you looking to accomplish?
This weekend, we need to take care of business. It's a goal of ours. Obviously, it's a conference weekend, but it's also a state series, and it's something our players have talked about as being the best team in the state of Louisiana. And right now, we're putting our foot forward right there with our record. We want to continue to do that. We're facing a hot McNeese team who swept Central Arkansas this weekend, and we're on the road. Again, another goal of ours was to win, be the best we can be on the road as well. So it's going to be a huge challenge, an exciting challenge, but it's a big week span for us because we have an opportunity to kind of take it to another level. And so it's important for us to continue to pitch well, play really good defense. Hey, let's see if we can get the timely hits and be a dominant club again on the road. And so I'm excited about the challenge. Our players are very excited about it as well. And we're really looking forward to a great weekend and another great weekend next weekend against Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
Been a great road team this season.
We have been very good on the road. It's something we talked about quite a bit in the offseason was, if we're going to win a championship, it's going to be on the road. And so our guys have been really good on the road, and they've enjoyed it. We're learning to enjoy the challenge of maybe it's the opposing team's fans getting in our face a little bit, and we're excited about it. And so we're going to try to be our best on the road again this weekend, but we also want to be dominant at home as well. So that we'll continue to get better. You can see that something gets better each and every day, and I'm excited about the challenge.
Coach, thanks so much for your time as always. Head coach Seth Thibodeaux, folks. That's going to do it for our show this week. We want to thank you for joining us, for the entire crew, including Philip Boudreau and Ashley Bull, and of course, Coach Tibb. My name is Mike Wagenheim. We're going to talk to you again next Thursday, 3:30 here on Cox Sports Television. Until then, take care. You've been watching the Seth Thibodeaux Show. The Seth Thibodeaux Show has been brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Contact your local State Farm agent today and get to a better state with State Farm Insurance. This has been a presentation of the Colonel Sports Network.